So as you can imagine, it's getting a bit rough. Is the cycle over? Let's look at some things. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you are new to the Crypto Mobster channel, welcome. And also make sure if you do like the content, leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell button if you want to see more. Now, I know we're underwater, right? Quite a lot of us. Take profit is key, it's king, it's the main thing. I've been talking about it loads. As you can see via tweets here, I've been talking quite a lot about be careful, take profits, corrections are coming. We're still correcting, boys and girls. We are still in a downtrend. I put tweets out saying that we've been in a downtrend for a while now. When people are like, no, we're not. Fuck off, no, we're not. But yeah, if you get too emotional, things go wrong. So what's been happening? Let's talk about a few things. I want to go over some sort of theory that I think is happening and also why I believe this is kind of important as well. Now, we are in a bit of a pickle with the world of the stock market. Now, I've done updates on my Patreon. I've done some stuff on Learning Crypto this morning as well. Free trial on Learning Crypto. Make sure you check out the link. But it's important to note certain things around, taking profit when things are high and obviously make it work for you, but ultimately as well, being able to reinvest when things are better. Not many people do that. Accumulation of wealth. So, markets. Currently, yesterday's data is horrendous. The Nasdaq down 1.3%, 1.1% in terms of the S&P, and obviously the Dow Jones at 0.89%. Not good, right? No, not good at all. So what does that mean for us? Well, today's pretty important. When you watch this video tonight, or wherever you are in the world, it would have already played out in terms of what the US Open's doing. Already, though, we don't know what's going to happen. Current data on the futures is not looking great. I'm expecting more downside to come. We're in a downtrend. I want to show you what the chart looks like. Then you'll start to see why. Now, let's talk about this. Random, I know, Bitcoin halving. Over the last two sort of cycles, when we go down to the previous, right, we've had 2 years post halving, give or take, roughly a bit of a fall, right? So we're looking roughly, in my opinion, around that sort of date in May time that we might be actually entering a bear market. If that is the case, and obviously would be the interesting case, and if the cycle is now cancelled because the stock market is going through a correction, it's important to note the past data. This is why on my chart, and you've probably noticed this on previous videos, I've actually had, if I just scroll over, this sort of thing on my chart for a while. You've probably noticed it on a few of my videos. I've taken it off on some, I've put it on some of my other videos, and that is roughly May time. That's actually my birthday, so please, so remember the date. But that would be roughly, give or take, around 2 years from the previous halving. Are we starting to see the end of the cycle? Possibly, because we've got to look at the facts here. We have grown loads, right? It doesn't go forever. Now, this is a great tweet that I put out, right? Be careful, paid influencers. That was the case. That could be the potential top. Now, I know I'm going to get battered for it by saying it, but ultimately, we will get a relief rally at some point. That could be the end. That could be the end, because I do not believe in cycles. I believe in market sentiment, right? Within 2 years of people getting rich, like ridiculously rich within this time period, it doesn't just carry on forever. People get wrecked. People take profits. New people get wrecked. And what happens to them? Their morale just goes saps away, which is why I have education platforms, which is why I have other stuff out there to help you learn, to understand. So let's look at a few more things, right? Obviously, yeah, not great, okay? But when we look at the overall picture here, if I zoom in, we are in an obvious downtrend. The most clear-cut downtrend you could probably ever see. We've had the fall, we've had the impulse back up, we're pulling back down, another impulse. You can see the picture here. It's very, very clear. It's vivid, right? This is the problem. Not many people believe it. Too many people believe in influencers with high followers and a tick mark, like that cares, and thinking it's good. We've seen a myriad of crap tweets, horrendous videos over the last coming months that I've been telling you we are going to carry on going up. With the break of this structure, that would mean that 86k as a potential bounce point is probably invalidated now. we're not probably never going to, we will see it maybe, who knows, numbers go up, but we will probably go much deeper before that happens. There's no point you going, well, we're going to go to that to try and get some people to buy into your mentality, but realistically we're in a downtrend. There's no real sign of reversals yet. Even when we're looking at the RSI, the most obvious indicator to tell you when stuff's going to happen, we're actually still looking pretty crap. Even if you're going to try and sell that as a hidden bullish divergence, we're pretty, you know, we're clutching. Let's be honest here, we are clutching. So just be careful. Now, my theory is when we do bottom, whenever that is, we will probably obviously have a little bit of a rebound, right? Whether that is when we go down to 36k potentially, or even 31k, this is what I've been tweeting today. I feel we are going to go lower because we've had this impulse down. We've pulled right into the 382. The extension levels here, I think the next destination is 36,200. If we lose where we are right now, absolute critical level, you know, if we lose that level in terms of like the closures over the next, like over the weekend, yeah, we're probably going to see 36. If we obviously lose 36, we could also go back down to where we were in like that sort of summertime where it's a bit rough. So 31k could be interesting. And let's see if that is the case. But if that is the bottom, for obvious reasons, like let's just kind of future plan. Let's just say roughly around this level here, it was the bottom. We are going to start seeing some nice bounces. Now, if we're going to go from, for example here, just to kind of give you food for process here for the future, if we are going to do that, we may well actually see a relief rally bounce up to where 45k is, where potentially as a bit of a relief rally, or even higher than that, and then we may well, that might be it, future bearings, maybe, who knows. So just got to be careful with potential stuff. So don't just think, oh, bullish, and then we're going to continue going right the way back up. It's very unlikely due to the structure that that'll lengthen the time, and I don't see that as a plausible thing, especially when we look at this, which is important to know, right? When we're looking at the stock market, bearish divergence looks pretty ugly. Looking at the overall kind of scope here, everything is looking pretty horrible, right? We are toppy. The whole stock market, in my opinion, is literally a big zombie, which could come down at any point, and I think we're starting to see the effects of it. Total debt keeps going up, right? You can see that. The S&P, boom, all right? It's been crazy. It's been absolutely mental. Look at that. That is monstrous. Look at the monthly. That is not healthy, boys and girls. Numbers do come down too. And again, looking at the NASDAQ, even better. Whee, it's like a rocket ship. This is where the problems are. Liquidity will come from these markets to grab into the Bitcoin market, to then take it from us, to then keep them alive. Literally, that's what will happen. Too many people are over leveraged. Too many people are overbought, especially in this market at wrong times. If they need to rescue a position, guess what they need to do? They will come to the most liquid market on the planet, which is cryptocurrency. Guess why? Because they can get money out instantly. And guess what? It's quicker and also much easier to do so. So make sure you understand that. Right. So if we get a stock market correction, and it's a proper one, we're going to feel the pain. There's no if, buts, whats, maybes with regarding fundamentals, inflation, quantitative easing. It's important to note that. So this is why you need to start thinking long term. So as you know, I mentioned BlockFi an awful lot. Check out the link below. Profit is king. I've been talking about profit for ages. If you've been watching my content, if you've been here for a while, you would have known. Take profit on intervals, have some stable currencies. But I want to talk about Bitcoin in a minute in terms of dominance chart. But if you've got money working for you, this dip shouldn't be hurting you because you're making passive income, and you've also got dip money for the future if we go into a full-on bearish winter, if things go wrong. Now, play what you see. With this, you're enabled to utilize a stable currency and swap within the platform. Therefore, if you've got stables and you think, oh, Bitcoin or Ethereum is quite cheap, I can then buy it, which is great. You can swap it over. So make sure you understand that. But for me, I hold long-term as stable currencies. I'm about, I think 35% in stables. I think about 30% in BTC at the moment. The rest of it is altcoins. So I'm pretty well established in terms of my portfolio management, but not everyone is. Some people are 100% in altcoins and then may well bleed out, which is why you need to listen to this next segment of the video, because you will lose out. But say if you've got 50,000, USD potentially over 10 years, you could be earning some nice interest, which could be going into your BTC portfolios, or most importantly, into other altcoins if you so wish to grow more. So let's talk about the BTC dominance, right? This is important. You need to pin your freaking ears back, because scenario A is simple. If BTC drops lower, the lack of confidence within the altcoins will be apparent. People will start selling off, weak hands will dump it because the USD prices are going down. It'll probably impact the BTC pairs. Therefore, this will most likely go up. Now, naturally, you got to look at the facts here. We're low. In my opinion, the BTC dominance is low, right? So if that's the case, things are going to be interesting, because we're going to start seeing some low BTC pairs. Now, I've mentioned this in previous videos. When we look at this, and we just do this, right? If we just scroll right the way through, most of these altcoins are really high. Now, this is just an average. Majority of them are high. This is like the reason why a lot of things have kind of changed. And this is just a daily time frame looking at certain things. Now, not everyone is high, but quite a lot of them are quite thunderously high versus what they were, which is why the dominance is kind of important to note. Now, we may well see further corrections in these charts, which is important to note. So what I'm trying to say here is quite simple. If we've got scenario A where BTC goes lower, you're going to probably notice one thing and one thing only, which is kind of important to note. The scariest thing of all is the BTC dominance going back up again. Now, if the BTC dominance does go up, you're going to start noticing a lot of things. Your altcoins will bleed out, you'll lose Satoshis, right? Scenario number 2 is BTC pumps, right? We start getting a relief rally, and maybe people are caught short and sold support levels in altcoins, and then BTC takes off like a rocket. Therefore, the dominance is going to affect it, because BTC will naturally be stronger than everything else, and obviously everyone will start piling back in again. Now, I feel that we are low, and we will start to go up again at some point, because I think if there is uncertainty in the market and people are taking profits, we're going to start seeing some interesting things. Money flow out of altcoins will always impact it. Money flow into the altcoins again may not be as strong as BTC, especially if other people are looking at BTC to make a quick buck, especially big money. So whales are accumulating. They may well make it run off, and may make it go for a quick run up to 50k again, and then they may well take profits once again, leading to another low. So there's a lot of things to comprehend here, but the one thing I will say, if you're looking at your BTC pairs, you may well notice that they will come down, but some people don't even notice them because they're not looking at those charts, just looking at USD. So in terms of my play, I would rather be in more BTC and hodl that, and then look for opportunities in the future with some very, very low Satoshi values. Because if the cycle has ended, there's a good way to grow your BTC, which is via that method, because the dominance chart will eventually start going back up again. Even if we go up to a 50% dominance, or even like where we were saying up here, 52% potentially, it's going to make a massive impact. And if that means because of BTC doing either an absolute dump and people have lost faith in their altcoins and they're bugging out, or BTC is pumped and it is much more ferocious and better than the altcoins because they kind of lag it. They always lag between them, and then obviously you get the turnover, which is called an alt season, when this starts to go down. So we may actually have a scenario where we pump back up, and then we may well see distribution of profits and people get excited again, and we may well actually start seeing that again, and then that might be the end of it. Because when we look at history and we look at what happened in 2017, 2018, we had that ferocious Bitcoin pump, and then we had the massive slam. But we also had this as well. We had this again where we pumped back up and then we slammed. So we may well be getting the same one as this, and look at where this kind of ended, roughly around the same sort of time. So we may well get a similar sort of element there where we've had this sort of move. So that's the move I'm going for, in my personal opinion. I think it's always wise to hold Bitcoin. I think it's always wise to hold some altcoins and obviously stable coins. So just be careful. So we might have this again as a relief rally, because it's important to note that, right? So I know it's a long-winded video. I know I probably confused people, but I think it's important to note. We could be coming towards the end of this cycle. We could be. And then we may well start seeing the dominance start going back up as altcoins die off and things change. Bitcoin's king. Don't forget it.